Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. Look What You Made Me Do, Taylor Swift. That is the name, of course, of Taylor Swift's new song, Look What You Made Me Do. But look what you made me do, Taylor, because now I have to expose this video, which is filled, absolutely filled. She might as well just come out of the closet waving a white flag with a pyramid on it and admit that she is under severe MK Ultra mind control programming, because that's all this video is. They show her altars, they show the splits, they show the same stuff that we always see. But again, we're crazy, because every single video that they do just has the same stuff in it. The same symbols, the same theme. Of course, this starts off with Taylor as a zombie coming back from the dead, claiming that she's dead and now alive again, but not born again in Jesus Christ. Pretty much letting you know that she sold her soul and she has no soul whatsoever and is now a walking, breathing zombie for the elites. And what is the first thing we see after she's walking as a zombie? Well, we see her in a bathtub. I guess Taylor loves baths, because we know Eminem loves bathtubs, Tupac loved bathtubs, Machine Gun Kelly loves bathtubs, Rihanna loves bathtubs, Beyonce loves bathtubs, Katy Perry loves baths. I mean, everybody loves a bath. I guess sooner or later they're not going to be taking showers anymore, although from the looks of some of these people, it doesn't look like they shower or bathe at all with soap or water. I guess they're doing it in ritual blood, because the bathtub represents the baptism, the rebaptism in the occult, in Satanism. It is a baptism. The bathtub is always used by men and women. Nobody says boo, though. They go, oh, wow, that's really artistic. That's sexy. Oh, is it? We've seen Shakira, Britney Spears. I mean, you name the artist, they've done a video with them in a bathtub. So it can't be art because it's not original. They're all copying each other, right? I don't think so. And of course, it's a bathtub filled with jewels. Now, we've seen them do the bathtubs, even Lil Wayne, the blood baths, okay? When they are baptized in Satanism and the occult, they go through a denouncing of Jesus Christ ritual where they denounce Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior, admitting to following Satan as the God that they believe in. And they're baptized in blood and urine and all sorts of disgusting, disturbing things. That's what they do. They constantly are showing you the baptism to let you know that the rebaptism is coming. It's always there. It's always the same. It's the same stuff over and over. It doesn't change. And as we continue, of course, behind her, we see the mirrors. Now, the mirrors are used in witchcraft and black magic. I know that sounds crazy to many people, but it's true. The books that they read, they'll even admit it, that they use the mirrors to summon demons as a dangerous force used in black magic. But the mirrors also represent splits and altars in these people's personalities. So it's not a surprise that behind her are these mirrors, because this whole video shows you exactly pretty much her coming out of the closet and telling you that she is a slave to the elite, a sex slave, and everything else you could possibly imagine. But from there, we go to her, of course, on an altar. And what do we see? We see, of course, the Masonic pillars next to her. With what? We see serpents, snakes, wrapping around the pillars, wrapping around her rings on her finger. What do they look like? Oh, they're serpent rings. Must be a surprise, right? Man, real original stuff. Haven't seen that before. Then she gets into a car accident. Her altar, she gets out of the car. And what is she wearing? Oh, she's wearing the sex kitten, the beta programming, the jacket. I mean, this has been getting shown over and over recently. It's another common thing we see. That's what it represents. They're not just big fans of leopard print and animals, okay? Kanye West, Drake, all these guys always wearing it. That's what it represents. Then from there, if it's not obvious enough already, we get her inside of a bird cage. What a shock, right? The bird cage, which represents mind control programming. The birdcage, which Taylor Swift often shows which I've exposed in other videos. We've seen the birdcage with Britney Spears. They're flat out letting you know as we go through this video that she is nothing more than a subservient slave to the elites. So we see her swinging in the birdcage, just admitting openly, going from the beta kitten, sex kitten, clothing to the birdcage to what? Well, we got her inside of a bank with what? Well, we have gold stacked up as pyramids. So we see more pyramids, more of the same crap that we see over and over. Then we see the cube, right? Everybody loves cubes. They love shapes. These guys just can't get enough of these shapes, right? The masses out there can't wake up. They just really think that these people have a fetish for shapes. They love circles, right? They love circles, they love cubes, and they love pyramids. They can't think once for themselves and say, why are we always seeing these shapes over and over? What do they represent? The ritual circle? Saturn's cube? The pyramid? No. Is it on the back of the jar? No. Of course not. Because these people don't want anyone thinking, and nobody does, so they don't have to worry about it. And from there we get all of her splits, because she plays different characters of herself in the video, but then they all start speaking to one another, standing in front of a gold airplane. They all speak to one another, admitting of all of her alter personalities. The shy her, the nerdy her, the famous her, the quote-unquote bitchy her. And they all talk to each other. And the one even holds up the 666 sign and says, you're so fake, and holds up the 666. Constantly there, folks, in a 3-minute video, which aired during the VMAs. If it wasn't enough in the lyric video where they were showing the Ouroboros with the snake biting its own tail, the serpent biting its own tail, which is more New World Order occult symbolism, they're just using it over and over in these videos. All you got to do is go through my playlist and you'll say, okay, maybe I'm seeing the repetition now. Well, that's how you break people out of it. Show them the repetition. Look how many times they're using the same symbols over and over in all these videos. Meanwhile, these directors are making millions of dollars. Aren't they supposed to be artistic and creative? Oh, they're all copying each other. Because nobody asks questions. Nobody says boo. They're too busy and distracted. Walking around on their phones, walking in the walls. They don't even know what they're doing anymore. Not realizing that they're being programmed around the clock. So Taylor Swift, who is now being recycled, because I've said this many times before, they recycle these quote-unquote stars, but they're really slaves. They recycle them. Katy Perry was just back, right? Who's quiet now? We haven't heard from Beyonce in a little while, Rihanna. Now Taylor Swift is being pushed back in, and then they go away for a year to 2 years. They got to keep them fresh. They got to pretend that they're giving you a choice of who to listen to that you're actually choosing when you're not. They're force feeding these people, but they're cycling them in and out. It's a joke. They don't want you to ask questions. They don't want you to see signs. If you want to wake people up, the easiest way is to show them the signs. Get them to start looking for it themselves. Say, fine, you don't want to believe it, but look for these symbols and tell me I'm crazy. And then they'll start looking and point it out to them when you see it. And start saying why over and over. Talk about repetition and how they use repetition to condition us. How they don't train our minds to look for these things. You see, they're trained different than we are. We go through a school system where we're trained with nothing but lies, a fake history, things that couldn't be less important in this world. They beat into our heads for us to remember, to memorize. They don't prepare us for life. Meanwhile, they're trained in secret handshakes, codes, symbols, color codes. And that's why they're always showing it, because they're communicating with each other. Remember, folks, there's no such thing as a coincidence in this world, especially when it comes to stuff that's produced by the mainstream, whether it's the news and all this other stuff, or these music videos that cost millions of dollars to make. These aren't coincidences, the showing of the same symbols, the same message. All of these celebrities supporting the same things, right? All pro-LGBT, all pro-tolerance, all pro-love and one. Because this is the Antichrist movement, the accepting of the Antichrist. You have to be tolerant of all, loving of all. It's almost like Christians don't understand that because they read scripture. We know that Jesus Christ is love, that the heart of the Lord is mercy, but they don't understand that they're playing off of that and they're deceiving people. The Bible speaks of a great deception. Well, guess what? Welcome to it. You're in it right now. The deception's going on day in and day out. And the masses continue to be deceived. So they look up to these heroes. They let them condition them with the symbols and the signs and the agendas. And next thing you know, the trumpet's going to sound and these people are going to be damned. So it's our job to continue to try to wake them up so they can snap out of it. They can realize that they've been deceived, that Jesus Christ is real. He is the way, the truth, and the life. And the only way to our Father is through him. There's no other path to heaven. So unless you realize that, you're going to burn in the lake of fire, unfortunately. And this is Taylor Swift just continuing to condition people, and she'll have a nice place in hell, that's for sure, unless she repents and breaks free from this. But she's clearly very much under the mind control, very much openly showing it for anyone out there that wants to see it. Birdcage, bathtub, beta clothing,